Hello, everybody. Carissa here. Today, I'm really excited to have my dad, Bishop Jim Holmes of Dayton, Ohio, of God's Way Triune Ministries, with us here today. Definitely inspired me early on to be healthier, even though I didn't listen to that advice until later on in my life when it became necessary. So I would just encourage everyone to listen to him now and listen to what we're saying. And we're going to talk about wellness and what that means to you, Dad. So I will turn this over to you at this point and just ask you my first question. How would you even define wellness? What does it mean to you?
Well, it's great to be able to share the knowledge that God has given us. And we've come through a lot of uh, sequences. First, why her mother passed, and then second wife passed as well. And then seeing so many people struggle with diseases and just life issues,
Mhm.
period. So it's very difficult to put a real good handle on wellness with all of these things influencing. A lot of times you may eat well and do right, but you still have bad health. And what I've noticed just down through the years, through the course of my life, we are three parts: we're body, soul, and spirit.
Mhm.
And we can the doctors treat the medical doctor. He treats the body, and he
Mhm.
gives, when he see depression, uh, any type of disease that's in the body, he's going to prescribe a medicine. That's what normal. It's normal procedure. But then the soul is living in that same uh, your geographical area. In other words, your body. He lives in your soul and your spirit, your demeanor. You see a person, they just real jolly and happy all the time, and that person has a uplifting or a happy spirit.
Mhm.
Some people are always seeing the worst. They see only negative things, and of course, that's a person with a negative spirit. Of course, I don't want to be around anything that's so negative that'll pull me down. So that's another a part of human existence, spirit, and then we all have a soul. Now, the soul receives what your spirit deposited into it, and of course, your body receives whatever your spirit. If you're real happy and outgoing and loving, and I've been, I started out as an introvert. I never was really just a real outgoing person. Uh, I have to get to know people instead of just making friends instantly. But if you can be, the more relaxed you can be, or I say your spirit, if you can allow your spirit to be more relaxed and just accept what God is doing. I want to get to what health and wellness is about, but this is all really what it's all about, because
Yeah, that's
we try to treat certain things, and it just doesn't work without taking the total picture in mind. So when we really think about the total existence of man, his body, his soul, and his spirit, uh, they all are in the same household together, and they must all be treated um, together. And I'll just take a break there if you want to jump in there for a minute.
yeah. It makes sense. It just sounds like a holistic view, like holistic health. We're not just
Yeah,
meat suits that we have to do surgery on or give medicines to. We have the spirit, as you're describing, which is kind of like the mind, the outlook or the personality of the person, our soul, obviously, which is much bigger than the body. And if we don't check in with all of that, one of the other ones can throw the other one off of balance. So it makes a lot of sense, that holistic view that we're like a trinity in a sense.
yeah, and that counts with both men and women, adult men and women, and some with depression, some dealing with issues that has happened in the body in the past, and they have not been able to release that out of their spirit. Now, it happened to their body, years ago. So quite naturally, the body is not hurting from that, whatever took place. if it was child abuse, father didn't do right by their children or mother. Let's face it, there's no perfect parents,
No.
quote unquote, because we all are human, and then we're going to make mistakes. So as the child grows up, and if the parents is somewhat abusive, a lot of times the child will take that through their life until they really realize it's not a medical issue that's going on there. It's abuse, and you got to really know how to release that and let it go, leave it back in the past where it happened, and then live your life. Each day, I think we should just start a fresh new life. Don't let whatever has happened yesterday dictate what's going to happen to my future. Now, we can use that for stepping stones, but don't let that dictate your future. A lot of times we have some things that happen in our past, and I've seen this so many times, and it actually changes our whole demeanor. I've seen people's personality change because of one issue that took place years ago. Maybe a parent wasn't the right parent, and and they are bringing that on now. It has affected their spirit. It has affected their body to where their body is actually they overeat, so they become obese. Most of the time, they don't find satisfaction in it, but they think they do, and because it's only temporary, it's a temporary fix. When the hormones start secreting the right hormones, you'll just keep eating that piece of cake, but that's not going to fix the issue. So our whole existence kind of centers around our body, soul, and spirit, and that's what our ministry is about. We do feed the hungry, but we just don't feed them and then take them back. So we have a responsibility to share with them. We know that in this position, sometimes we found out that a lot of people are very wealthy people are in shelters because of some choice that took place in the family, and so they need medicine too for that problem, as well as food and shelter. So we try to take care of all areas of that person's life to get them back on track, and we've gotten a large amount of them back into society. We go down to the shelters every other Wednesday, and then we go get 2 van loads on every Sunday. And so we see this and it's kind of a cycle when people go through a cycle of their life. If you don't do the right thing, you'll be in that cycle all the days of your life. You don't do something to get out of that cycle. So yeah, I see it as a great opportunity to know that when we recognize that my body, my soul, and my spirit, they all need ministering to. And sometimes we leave the soul part of it out. The soul part of it is the worship, and we have to put good things in us. So I put some word in me first thing in the morning. I want to get some word in me, because the word of God is really what makes me see things with 20/20 vision. We really can't see things clearly from our perspective, because most of the time, if we don't have God in our lives, we're just seeing things from the humanistic
Yes.
viewpoint. And a lot of times when people take advantage of us, we're not going to turn our cheek to that person. We're going to want to get we're going to want to get even with them. Excuse me.
That's right. Well,
But go ahead.
go ahead, finish your thought if you're in the midst of a thought.
But Christ, he forgave. He says, do good to them that despitefully use you. So when people, and this is hard for the human side of me to do that, but the Christ side in me, he allows me to do that. I'll just make a little quick point here. I was going up to Panera Bread to get lunch, and there was a car blocking 2 spots. He was actually parked kind of diagonal in the handicap place, and also blocking one other parking spot.
Wow.
So he was taking 2 places and parked it because he had a very nice car. I guess he didn't want anybody parking by it. So I came and parked in the next parking spot over from him, which was not in the handicap parking spot nor the spot that he was in, but in the next spot. And I got out and I started to go into Panera, and he jumped out of his car. And he says, "Oh, we're getting ready to have a bad day." And so I really didn't understand what he was talking about. He says, "You seen my car was parked here, and you parked in the next parking spot." And so I'm trying to figure out what is his problem, what's going on. But he said, "You shouldn't have parked here. You seen that I was trying to block all of these spots beside my car." And so, and he was just a little small fella. And so something my mind told me, said, just knock it down. But the spirit says, no, move your vehicle. Just back out and back and go and get another parking spot. And quite naturally, I said, okay, fine. I backed out and backed into another parking spot. But as I was backing out, I seen his wife came out. And so uh, when she came out, she got in the car and he pulled away. He tooted his horn, he waved his hand. He says, "See you later." Now, he came out with a bad spirit against me. But since I didn't respond in a retaliatory manner, I changed his spirit.
Yep.
And that's what we got to do. That's what Christ calls for us to do. Did he take advantage of me? He really didn't take advantage of me. If you think about it, the parking spot was not mine in the first place. Yeah, I don't own any parking spots there. I'm just parking like he was. But I allowed him to have his way. And sometimes we don't want to do that. And we have to actually love our enemy. So I made a friend from that day forward. If I ever see him, he'll remember that deed that I did, because I did not. I accepted what he says. Now you say, "No, you're crazy. You shouldn't have did that." But we should love. That's the only way that we're going to love our enemies, is to do the deeds. And he's changed from this day forward. Yes, he may have taken advantage of me a little bit, but what does it matter? So the body, the soul, the spirit, he came out with a foul spirit. His spirit was immediately changed. And that's what we are to do as people of God. We have to go out and change the world with the light that we have in it. And so our body, our soul, and our spirit. And I'm going to do a little bit talk about what happened to your mother, because it was a traumatic experience, I know, for both of you girls and me, because I never experienced anything like that before. But it was God that really took us through those transitory periods. It was I never experienced having to deal with that on a consistent basis. The doctors bombarding her with all the chemicals, chemo, radiation, and I didn't know what to do. But I began to seek the Lord, and he just told me, he showed me, what they was doing was actually taking her life. And I saw that, but it just caught on to it too late, because the chemo, I know, she took the radiation first, and of course she lost her hair, her memory went away. And in my studies, began to read and do a lot of research. I began to see that actually chemo kills cells. That's basically what it is. It kills cancerous cells, but it also kills good cells. And pretty much that's what took place with her after about a year of that. And I was asking the Lord. I thought that because I fasted, I don't know if you all remember, I fasted 3 days, 3 nights. And on that third day, I just knew God was going to raise her up. Nobody could tell me anything different. But God took her on to be with him. But he shared with me that what took place was, then you need to just bottle up your tears. It's good to cry sometimes, because somebody say, I'm always crying, but it's a good thing to cry. Number one, if you got itchy eye syndrome, it eliminates, but it releases so much from your spirit. There's so much from your spirit that it releases from you when you just give a big old boo-hoo and just cry. And I cried a lot because I thought the Lord did me wrong. But he, after all my crying, he gave me some understanding that the information you have, you got to help people with this. And that's, I know, we went on a rampage to do that.
Yeah.
And God really blessed a lot of people's lives, changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. It was such a difficult situation, but we look back and we see that we can't expand and open and offer more light and love if unless our vessel gets broken at some point. So we got to get that break that breaks us open. If nothing happens to you your whole life, you have this effortless, easy life where nothing goes wrong, you can't develop. You can't.
No,
That's how the light comes in, is you got to crack the vessel. So I had to come to my own understanding of that very difficult situation and heal after all that, and not even knowing anything about anything as a 20-something-year-old. It was a very challenging time, but I think ultimately there were reasons for it. And we're all three of us more helpful and compassionate people because we
yeah.
went through that, and we can now help other people through their traumas, which is so
Mhm.
important right now for humans. It's all coming up. We can't push this stuff down anymore. We have to heal it. So yeah.
There's so much now. We have artificial intelligence. We have MREs. We have all of these things that are coming into the human diet, and actually chemicals. They're chemicals. They want you. They look like food, but they're chemicals, and so we have so much to deal with now that we didn't have to deal with during her
Right.
lifetime, and so we have to be so very careful. And my rule is that if it grows out of the ground, and if it's a normal, not changed seed, not DNA
GMO. Yeah.
change, but if it's a natural and no chemicals, then it's good to eat. It's good to eat, and this is what we should eat. And if you eat more of that, you really won't. I get a lot of people saying, "Well, I got this, I got this water on my hand, or I got high blood pressure. What should I take for this?" Well,
Plants.
and my, I never give an answer, but I always answer that with a question: what are you eating?
Mhm.
Uh, what is your lifestyle? Because a lot of times your lifestyle brings on elevated blood pressure. A lot of
Woo,
times,
stress. Yes.
yeah. So stress is the number one. I believe is one of the number one killers because we don't know how to deal with stress. Uh, God, having one wife to pass, and then a few years later, 16 years later, having another one,
Yep.
actually 21 years because it was 5 years between. Uh,
That's
so
right.
21 years later, here I'm in the same position, and that's stress. I mean, that is stress. And to
Ac-
have live with a person for 28 years and they're just sudden gone, uh, that's stress. But and I encourage everybody to get God in your life because really my only way of coping that was with God in my life, and He let me know that He allowed His Son, His only Son, to die on the cross for me, and if He allowed it for His Son, and why should I not allow that for those that I am closely related to, my wife, and I just began to see life from a different perspective. And life can be so good if we just see it from the right perspective. Even though we go through a lot of difficult times, a lot of struggles, life can be just a beautiful thing if we how we look at it. And so
Right.
now I'm looking at it. I'm 70. I'll be 74 years old in July. So I'm looking at life from a different perspective now.
That's still
I'm
crazy
looking
to
at
me. You still are just like 45 to me. Like for you stopped at 45, and I'm like, my dad's 45. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 51. My dad can't be 45. So I can't grok that at all that you're in your 70s.
70. I'll be 74 this July. So I'm looking at no matter what negative things happen to me, I'm thankful that I'm blessed with good health and strength. I'm not taking a whole lot of medicines. They try it seem like every time I go to the doctor, I got me another doctor by the way, but because the other doctor all he wanted to do was just prescribe medicines. I said, well, do I have a condition? No, but we want to prevent. If I don't have a condition, then why are you trying to give me something to prevent it? So I just got me another doctor. He's more in line with the way I want to do my life, because you just can't afford to put these drugs cause kidney problem. And I know all my brothers had kidney dialysis. Some had polycystic kidney.
Yeah,
7 of us, and only 2 of us is still, well, Charles and Wallace, but Charles has had a kidney transplant.
transplant. Yeah.
But I never had that problem, because the Lord spoke to me and said, just drink this. And this was back in 1984. Says drink plenty of water, and that's what I did, and kept my body hydrated. Since our bodies is right around 70% water, it's just a no-brainer. That's what we should
Yep.
be doing: hydrating our body with proper water.
Good,
Yeah.
clean water. So a lot of people, all this wonderful advice that people even will sometimes agree with, but they struggle with disciplining themselves to stay on track. How did you find the discipline or develop those habits to think about your wellness in your eating and your habits rather than just what you wanted to taste or to experience that day?
It's how we think, because the way we think, as a man thinketh, this is in the Bible, as a man thinketh, so is he. So when I began to, it clicked. It really clicked when I seen your mother. You remember your mother? She was skinny at one time, but her lifestyle as she went on, being the manager of American Eagle, and then managing other businesses, managing Burger King, and all of these high stress managerial job is very high stress when you don't have the correct employees. And so I seen this, and I began to say, well, uh, this I could see what was happening to her and her life, and her eating a lot because she's want to fulfill, trying to deal with the stress of the jobs. So my discipline was, I don't look, when I eat, I look at how this is of value to me. I look at this, oh, this apple has vitamin C in it. So it's a discipline to me. How do I follow through with that? I know that this is good for my body, and it tells me. So it's my perspective on how I look at food. For instance, a lot of people will eat uh, cakes and pies and candies, but
Every day.
my perspective, my perspective is that it's going to harm. It's going to put a knife in me, and so I don't want to hurt myself. I want to help myself, and this is what causes me to be disciplined. It's not. I know a lot of people, they just give in because of the taste buds. It tastes good, and they follow through with their taste buds. But the way I discipline myself is I think different about foods, and I think differently about what's the end results of that food. So I think if we really think about when we're eating a big piece of pork chop, we know that it has saturated fats in it, and it takes our body, it takes a long time for our body to process that. And if we understood that, if we know the science behind it, we would know that it's just not a good thing to be putting in our bodies on a consistent basis. But we see people doing it on and on and on, just consistently. So if you continually do that, then the end result is going to come. So I don't have any, like I say, I don't have any medication that I'm putting in my body. Uh, uh, I'm taking all my vitamins. I take my vitamins. So this is what I do, and I do that every morning. I do take vitamin C, even though I eat pretty much a balanced meal, but I want to make sure that all my levels stay up. I just took my blood work about 2 weeks ago, and everything was good.
Good.
So
It's good to hear. I feel like you're probably going to live forever. I mean, I know that's not right, but it just seems
no,
like if anybody could, you probably would.
the focal point is not the length of days, but we are gonna, we're all gonna leave this world. But the quality of life as you live. And so this, I can truly say that I can get out there and run with the best right now. And, I've ran track with the little young ones that actually in track and outrun them. But the thing is, if you put in the body, what it needs, it'll give you what you need when you need it. And so my main focus point is the discipline comes is that I know the end results. And so if I know the end results, this is what kind of keeps me in line with doing the right thing and doing what I know is right to do. And I don't know if everybody thinks that way or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people just reach for gratification because they're just not in tune with what they really want for themselves. So gratification is just an easy way to feel good for the short term. So what do you think the biggest lesson was you learned or the biggest gift that you got out of health challenges that you may have had in the past? I mean, I know right now you're not really having many, but in the past, what do you think health challenges have taught you?
Well, I had rheumatic fever, and that's supposed to damage your heart, and for the long run, and that's
Right.
what they say. It scars your heart, in other words. And that was a challenge. I had that at 10 years old. And so, with this in my mind, I knew that I would have to eat healthy. Um, that's why I first went completely vegan. And it was not. Uh, it was not easy when I first started it because I didn't know how to eat. There was
Mhm.
nobody there to instruct me to what right foods to eat. So I had to really study, and it was kind of like a trial and error. But when I really got the right sequence and all of the right balance, B vitamins, because most of the meats have the B's in them. So I started taking B complex, and my life just balanced out. Um, I know you going up Gettysburg Hill, I would go walk and I would run then. So uh, with almost no resistance at all. And I was, of course, I was younger then. But, the thing is, it was a challenge to start doing that, just to start it, and then to stay with it, and then set aside a time to do it. And I knew that my life, if I didn't do it because of what I had happened early on in my life, I knew that it could be a problem. But you look at my health history all down through the years, it's been good because of just a few things that I tweaked, and it's a lifestyle. So when people come and say, "What can I take to get rid of this?" It's a lifestyle. You got to develop a lifestyle of good, healthy habits. Go to bed on time. Don't stay up late through the night. Don't use your phone too much. Social media, that's going to
Oh,
take your eyesight away. Just
you're
so many
fine.
things we don't think about that we do on a regular basis. That
True. Just the gift of being respectful of your body. It sounds like that's what it gave you. Just like, I know that I have this tenderness and that I need to take care of myself in order to do my work. That's a beautiful gift, even though having rheumatic fever probably wasn't any fun as a kid, I can imagine. But
no, no, the doctor actually said that I don't know if you know much about rheumatic fever, but the doctor actually said that my hand was swole. My right hand was swollen up almost about 1.5 times, and he
whew,
said I had been fighting. Uh, and he said I was 10 years old. He said, "Oh, he's been fighting with somebody, and his hand was swollen up." And so I told him I hadn't been fighting with anybody. So he took me back in his back office, and he gave me a couple of suckers, little lollipop pieces. Now tell me, who was you fighting with? I said, I'm not fighting with. I have not had any fight with anybody. And so he come back out and told mom he's been fighting with somebody. He just don't want to acknowledge it. But mom took me that day and took me into another doctor, and
yeah.
he looked at my tonsils and he says his tonsils got to come out. They was infected, and they was infected because of that rheumatic fever that I had, and it put a scar on my heart. And so, just think about if we didn't, you know, if she hadn't taken me to another doctor, I may not be here today. So,
Yeah. It's a mother's wisdom. She knew something
yeah,
was wrong. You're not one to get in a lot of fights, so I could see that. So you've told us something about your morning routine and getting the word in you first thing and water. Do you have a night routine that you like to follow for your wellness to kind of make sure you have a good morning, good night's sleep?
Yeah, the night before, and I always try to do this because if you don't get to bed on time, it's just a regular routine now. Sometimes we have so many things that crowd our day, but we have to plan to do this. If you don't plan to do it, it's not going to happen. Then
Oh,
there has to be a cutoff. Uh, and sometimes you have this this project that's got to get completed. You know, we're editing videos, and sometimes you got to get them in by the time, and the Thursday or Friday you got to have them in. A lot of times they are run short, and you got to finish them up. But even at that, if it doesn't get finished, I just there's a cutoff time, and when it starts to hit about 11 o'clock,
mhm.
you got to shut things down.
Yep.
If you don't do this, if you don't do this, your body is going to respond in a negative manner. And I try to do this. We used to go to meetings and be out all times of night, and we don't have to do that now. We're not. We're independent, so we don't have to be out 3, 4 o'clock in the morning
Woo.
driving on. So, and I know you probably remember some of that, but we just don't do that no more. So we try to be in bed at least by 11 o'clock. It's good if we can be in bed before that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's about 11 o'clock we're in bed. And then your body gets a good night's sleep. And I can say when I hit the bed, I do get a good night's sleep. And that's important. Doing exercise, but I exercise. I have been doing it in the last 3 months or so, every day, and
Oh,
because I've been trying to achieve a little bit of more muscle mass and things. So, um, and then I got a response from one of my friends. He said, "You're getting a little buff there," so which means that I'm probably am. It's working.
yeah.
So, but it takes time to do that. You don't want to do it so fast that you shock your body. So just maintain your muscle mass and then building a little bit up on at the same time. So I try to get rest. Um, Number one is rest, and I get the proper rest. Go to bed, decent time, and you got to prepare for that. You can't put so many things on your agenda that you can't get that done. So
Right.
I make sure that I get my rest because if Jesus rested, he went away many times and he rested. He rested from all of the crowd, went up in the mountain, he prayed. So we have to get rest. And the body needs it. It needs time to rejuvenate, reignite, and then cleanse.
Yeah.
And so we fast 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's a part of your cleansing as well. So, and because there's so much in your colon that just stays there unless you fast, it just stays there. So it has a chance to cleanse itself, get everything out, and you'd be surprised how healthy you can start to feel when your gut's clean.
Oh, yeah.
But most of the times, our gut is contaminated, it's toxic, and so because we just keep putting in, and don't give it a chance to rest. So our gut needs to rest, and so our whole body needs to rest. So during the night, yes, I drink a little lemon juice in the morning, not lemon juice, but lemon water in the morning and in the evening. And that's just to aid with detox through the night. And then most of the time I wake up refreshed. And wife and I pray in the morning and seek the Lord for that day. And then we have breakfast Tuesday because Monday we fast, and so Tuesdays and Thursdays we have breakfast, and you don't eat a whole big healthy breakfast. But we was in Jamaica, and they had they had so many different varieties of food there, but they had a green dish. It was collards and peppers and all different types, but it was cooked. And it was so great, and so we were starting to eat that for breakfast now.
Yeah.
So your first meal is probably your most important meal. Yeah,
I
get
would
your
say that
energy.
I like getting
Mm.
my my power smoothies in for my first meal. I don't really have much of an appetite in the morning. Sometimes I'll just fast through breakfast and I'll do my smoothie for lunch. It's usually wild blueberry, green apple, whatever vegetables or things that I want to throw in there, and then my multivitamin and a couple herbs. And then once I have that, I just don't feel like I need anything else. I don't have much of a draw to food to eat just for the sake of eating. Like I don't have that wiring anymore. Once I have that smoothie, I'm good for like 4 or 5 hours. Really, I don't need to eat
Yeah.
anything. Sometimes I do, and then I'll have a dinner. But it's
Hmm.
really, I think of food more as how's this going to shift my energy and how's this going to make me feel? What do I need right now to adjust the way I feel? 85% of the time, that's how I eat. 15% of the time, I'm like, that looks really tasty. I'm just gonna have that because I think it's gonna taste good.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I can see how that Jamaican dish sounds really good. I like Caribbean food. I think I'd probably like that too.
Oh yeah. They really, and that's why you see they're a little bit more robust than we are because of their diet. They're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Every morning they would have strawberries, pineapples, blueberries, just a different array of guava, all different types of fruits there that you could eat. So, and we made juice. They had guava juice, just so. And we, of course, we've been doing that here. I juice every, try to get a juice in every time, every morning, except for the mornings we're fasting. So, but juices is so important, and smoothies, yeah, smoothies as well, because the juices has the vitamins and the minerals, but we need micro, uh, and so we get a different balance of that. And I try to do that, but I was mostly a carrot man. I
Yeah,
did carrot juicing, but I did do it a variety because your body needs a variety.
for
And of
sure.
course, I do blueberries, very high in antioxidants, blueberries, strawberries, and a lot of times I do blueberry, strawberry, banana, just to get the taste of the banana. I don't want to
Yeah.
do too much banana because of potassium. But as we get older, we have to watch how much potassium and sodium we intake.
Oh yeah. I definitely have to watch my sodium intake these days, or I'll blow up like a balloon. I'm like, okay, I ate too much salt yesterday. So, what other parting words of wisdom would you have for the viewers that you haven't said yet?
Yes, just I think that when we consider life itself, and life is filled with so many issues and that we have to deal with. If it was just a life where I'm just dealing with myself, um, then life would be so great. But but then life has so many issues that we have to deal with on a daily basis. At work, we have struggles. We have coworkers that are pushing our easy button, um, and so we have this nation is not um, what it should be.
Wow.
Struggles, nation struggles on. You can go to the grocery store, and people are getting a little bit more. What do you say? Maybe a little violent, even in the stores. People just so it's not a good environment, and it's a stress induced area. And in my what I can offer is what happened to me in my life. My only peace come from me just giving my life completely over to the Lord. And you say, well, how do I do that? How do I give my life to the Lord? Uh, and He'll do the same thing for all of us. I just gave my life to Christ. He was my focal point. When I get up in the morning, I give Him honor, give Him praise. I pray to Him. And the struggles that I have, he make those struggles much easier because we can't handle those ourselves. We see so many people that are going through the struggles and trying to do them by themselves, but we really can't handle these struggles ourselves successfully. If you think you can do it, you're going to set yourself up for failure. But when we allow Christ into our lives, He gives us the strength that we need to get through our struggles. And that goes back to that spiritual man, because since we are three parts, we're body, soul, and spirit. The body is experiencing all these struggles of life. It's experiencing your coworker got that job that you should have had. People got road rage, jump in front of you and slow down,
Yep.
and trying to get you to respond to that, or call you out your name, or sometimes they just literally run into you. But all of these things the body is experiencing. So if your spirit don't know how to deal with those, but we have Christ in our life, your spirit will calm the body down. Just breathe, deep breath,
Yes.
and that's what your spirit will tell you. Just take a deep breath. Don't worry about it. This too will pass.
Mhm.
And because God is going to give us the victory in every situation that we face. If I look back through the struggles of my life, God has given me the victory through every one of those situations.
Mhm.
No matter how horrible it looked, because your mother was a young lady when she passed,
Was.
and Linda was young when she passed,
Mhm.
but God gave me strength. Uh, I did their eulogy, both of them, and how can that be? How can I have strength like that? Definitely couldn't been on my own. So my words to leave with you is, if you be in Christ and give your life to Christ, He will help you through these. David says, yea, though I walk through the valleys of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil. Why? Because Christ is with them, and His rod and His staff, they comfort us. So we need comfort sometime in our lives from somebody, from another source that we can't offer ourselves. Christ is that only source that will offer us comfort in the middle of a storm. And I know you was there. You seen how everything was, and it just wasn't a good environment. But God give us peace.
That's right.
Hmm.
Thank you for that. And where can people find out more about your ministry or God's Way Triune? How can they get in contact?
Yes, we have a website, gwtmi.org. That's the web, and you can find out more about the ministry. And we are now in building a facility, in the process of building a facility, and the facility is online there, an assistant living facility that we'll have 39 uh, beds there that will assist the community, and they can come in and get assisted living. We're going to treat the body, soul, and spirit. Now, I'm going to minister to just the body and not to the soul, not to the spirit, but all three entities will be ministered to. So the facility will have nurses, doctor on call, and we have an exercise facility, walk trails on the outside of the building. We have a sanctuary right in the middle of it. It's online. You can look at it. We've got some drawings there of the facility. And so if people want to find out about us and be part of it, and also donate to the new facility, because
Yeah,
we're in the process of building that, you can donate right online. And so we'll be excited about you helping out, being part of this. And we're looking for partners to partner up. We've talked to several entities around locally here for partnering with us as we put this all together.
that's exciting. That is a really much needed type of facility. I'm definitely going to check that out, and I'll probably
Yes.
be down there poking my nose around when the time comes. So
Yes. We're
that's
also going to have, let me stop, but we're also going to have a juice bar, and we'll have a barber shop. We'll have a store there. You can get your vitamins, a little post office. Um, you get your mail, and a little bank. So they won't have to go anywhere outside of the facility. They'll be able to get everything right there on site, on campus. And and also we'll be actually training people in better health habits, actually taking them through the routine. And we've got several practitioners already have agreed they're going to come on board once we get the facility built. So it's going to be great. we're going to have some of the therapies that you probably experience, uh, uh, pulse magnetic electro
Oh yeah,
frequencies.
love that stuff.
People don't get their feet on the ground today. It's concrete, so uh, PMEF therapies will be on site. Hyperbaric oxygen, red light therapies. So all of these, and these are so needed today because our bodies is just dying because lack of oxygen, lack of connecting with Mother Earth. So
Yeah.
we'll have all of these.
Yeah, I have a red
And
light. I wouldn't do without it. I definitely highly recommend if people aren't going outside and getting their feet on the ground, their bare feet and getting in the sun, you need a red
mm,
light. You need PEMF just to
yes, yes, yes. So we all of that will be in the facility. Like I say, you go online and we have it there online. You can see what the vision is.
cool. Very exciting. All right.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for meeting with me and talking to my viewers today. I'll get the video edited and
thank
put on the channel. And everybody, if you have questions for dad, well, my dad, but Bishop
you.
Jim Holmes, contact him at the website. I'll put it in the description. And definitely,
Yes.
if you can donate anything, no amount is too small to help
Mm,
build and expand the wellness, the well being of body, soul, spirit of everybody in the Dayton area.
yes, yes.
All right.
Thank,
Thanks so
thank
much.
you so much.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.